everybody, so I'm going to do some basic cost management concepts that will help you through the rest of your classes in cost accounting. It's kind of very important for us to get these basics, and then that will help us through the process. So some of the things that I'm going to do here is figure out your direct materials used in production, your total prime cost, your total conversion cost, your unit variable product cost, and your unit product cost. So we're just going to go through this. I've just created some numbers off to the side and also given my units completed. That will happen. I'll use that when I need my unit variable cost and my unit product cost. So what we're going to start off here is we're going to do our direct material used in production. And when we do that, we start with our beginning balance of our raw material. So I have these in alphabetical order. So my beginning balance of raw material is $154,000. What I want to do is I want to add my raw material purchased for the year or for the month, depending on when you're doing this. So my raw material purchase is $280,000. What that does is that gives me my direct materials available for use. So let's add those two together. And then what I can do is I take my less my ending balance of my raw material. Let me go ahead and get that in here. So less my ending balance raw material. And so then my direct materials used in production is $302,000. So my next thing that I want to do is my prime cost. And for prime cost, your prime cost consists of your direct material and your direct labor. If I can type that. So the direct material, we already figured that out in Part A, our direct materials used in production. So we can bring that down. Our direct labor, that is over here. We didn't have to figure that out. So that gives us $170,000. So my total prime cost, sorry about the typing here, is adding these together, which is $472,000. Now I want to look at total conversion costs. Total conversion costs are your direct labor and your factory overhead or manufacturing overhead, depending on what your company uses or your textbook. It's either factory overhead or manufacturing overhead. So let's go ahead and start with our direct labor. And I'm going to put that amount over here at $170,000. Next, I'm going to do my factory overhead. Now, when you're trying to decide, well, which costs do I use for factory overhead? Here is a hint. If it says factory in it, it goes with your factory overhead. So if I look at my accounts here, administrative sales doesn't say factory. That's going to be a period cost. Beginning balance raw material, beginning work in process, that's not part of factory overhead. Depreciation on factory equipment. Here we go. This is our first one, depreciation on factory equipment. Okay, that amounted to $75,000. Depreciation on office building. Nope, that doesn't say factory in it. That's going to be a period cost. Depreciation on factory building. Here we go. Here's another one. Depreciation on factory building. That's going to be $50,000. Direct labor, that's not factory overhead. That is part of the actual product. So we don't have to do that one. We're not going to worry about ending balances on our raw material or work in process. Factory insurance, what do you think? Yeah. It goes in your factory overhead because it had the word factory. Okay, so let's bring that over. Indirect labor salary. This is one, although it doesn't say factory, it's indirect labor. Indirect labor is part of the process of making the product, so that is included. Okay, let's put that over there. Property taxes for factory. What do you think? Yeah, you're right, because it had the word factory in it. Property taxes for factory. So that is $50,000. Property taxes for office building. Does it have the word factory in it? No, so it's not. That would be considered a period cost. Not going to worry about raw materials used. Salary office, sales office salaries. Is the word factory in there? No, so we don't use that one. Utilities for factory. Yep, you're right. Utilities for factory. We do include that one. Okay, so that will be $64,000. Utilities for sales office. There's no word that says factory, so that's going to be a period cost. So let's go ahead and add these up. So then our total conversion cost, again, these are, conversion is your direct material, your factory / manufacturing overhead. So we can add, well, let's try that again. Let's see, let's delete that. We can add these two up. So our total conversion costs are $615,000. Now I want to show the unit variable product cost. So that one, what we're doing is we're looking at our direct material, we're looking at our direct labor, we're looking at our factory / manufacturing overhead, and we want unit. So we have to understand how many units that we actually completed. So our direct material, we figured that out in Part A. That's the $302,000. We have our direct labor. That one they provided us over here. And our factory, I'm going to put in here manufacturing overhead. Well, we figured that out already. We don't have to do that calculation. Okay, so this totals $917,000. Our units, not united, units completed, they provided that over here for $150,000. So then our unit variable product cost are taking your $917,000 divided by your 150,000 units you produce. So our unit variable product costs are $6.11. Now the other thing I want to do real quick is a unit per product cost. In order to do a unit product cost, you need to do a statement of cost of goods manufactured. There is a video out there, so I'm just going to do a very basic one. I'm not going to have all the details in there. I'm going to do my direct material. Now if you notice, if I can type that out, direct material, this part, if you were doing your cost of goods statement of cost of goods manufactured, there's your direct material portion. Okay, your direct labor, that we know, it's $170,000. I'm going to put overhead. We figured that out already. That is the $445,000. The only thing that I have, this gives my total. Let's go ahead and, well, let's spell it right. Total manufacturing overhead. Let's add those up. Okay. Wow, we've seen that number before, haven't we? Okay. Now, the difference between the variable product cost and the unit product cost is in my unit product cost, I have to add my beginning work in process, balance, and less my ending work in process. Ending work in process is $160,000. So my cost of goods manufactured is equal to my 9 plus my 1 plus my minus my 160,000, so that's 911,000. My units completed, again, that's provided to us. So my unit product cost, take the 911 divided by the 150,000. So we have $607 of unit production, because we have to include our work in process, our beginning and our ending. We pretty much have to get the cost of goods manufactured statement complete, and unit variable product costs are $6.11. So I hope this video has helped you with understanding some of the cost management basics in order to get you through the rest of understanding cost.